You know, it's media day for the rest of the league. We're getting close to preseason. It really feels like basketball's back. And it's like Groundhog Day because Bradley Beal's already limited with knee soreness. Psychos and sickos unite for a Stevens running late in traffic edition of PHNX Suns, coming to you live from downtown Phoenix and presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code PHNX365. Deposit 10. Place a bet for 5 with $200 in bonus bets. I am Erik Ruby. Steven Prejean Garner will be here soon. He is a busy man. The Mercury have made it to the WNBA Finals. Phoenix Suns preseason starts on Friday. He is out at training camp, getting all the sound and all the sights that you could possibly imagine out on at PHNX_Suns. We'll go over some of that once he gets here in just a couple of minutes. Of course, as always, I'm joined by Fisherton, a.k.a. Juice Man, a.k.a. Old Mangle Toes, a.k.a. Freckled Mamba, a.k.a. Aryton. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, become a member today like Junior Garcia in chat, because being a member is awesome. It's just $5 a month. You get a special badge next to your name lights up green, and you get a bunch of sick new emojis. Mario Not Bros 2, Sean, Ashley, Jackie, Shumdog, Junior, everybody in the chat hanging out with us. Mario Not Bros 2 says, Erik Ruby, now we know the real reason why Book wants to stay in the Valley, his insane man cave. Yeah. That's nuts. If you missed Book with iShowSpeed, we have a short up on YouTube right now. You can go check that out. Of course, we're still bringing you more content from Media Day. If you're a member and a diehard, some more full pressers will be coming your way. But before we get into training camp today and what's been going on today, I want to play this video that the Suns posted over the weekend. This was the Dillon Brooks effect in full force.
Reach! Push here! Get up! All right! Stay on your feet, youngin'!
You know when they say, like, Dillon Brooks, you love to be his teammate and you hate to be against him? I wonder what that's like in practice. So you have to go against him every single day. I mean, the guy's going at full game speed there. And I feel like that's just kind of a good encapsulation of why so many people are a little bit optimistic about this team. Whether it's the fact that we think they're going to play hard, or at least with Dillon Brooks, we know they're going to play hard. Whether it's these great answers from Jordan Ott with some great questions from our guy Steven that will play here in a second. But Aryton, and just the culture, the identity, it's things that have been spoken about all offseason. And Friday, the preseason, will be our first chance to see it on the court. But that was just a glimpse into what a different culture hopefully will look like in Phoenix for the long term.
I mean, how can you not love this? Anyone who's played sports knows that when that fire gets lit under you, there's nothing you can't not buy in. So I feel like having a dude on that team is invaluable. You remember at the end of the video too, there's like, or it might have been a different video, Colin hit the game winner on him over in practice, and they were pointing at the camera together, like being all fun. Like, it's, everyone says it's cliche in basketball at this time. Like, once you get in between the lines, it's different than when you're outside the lines.
Many people are saying I'm the Dillon Brooks of our men's league team. That's what many people are saying.
Some have said that, yes.
Some have said it. Mostly me. Jack in the chat says, now I'm worried about Colin. If you're listening on audio, Colin got a little disrupted by Dillon Brooks. But I don't blame him. I mean, again, they're showing the best defensive highlights from Dillon Brooks. I am not worried about Colin Gillespie at all. A really cool thing also happened over the weekend. Obviously, the Suns posted that little behind the scenes in training camp. There was also the Fan Fest, which was super dope. Really cool experience. If you want kind of a visual of that, our socials at PHNX_Suns as well has a little behind the scenes, Ryan Dunn signing things. And we also got, during the intros, the guys walked up in the new Statement Edition jerseys. They looked very nice. And then they got asked a question, and Devin Booker was asked one that brought some warmth to Suns fans' heart.
Can you believe it that this is year 11 here with the Phoenix Suns? It is crazy, man. Well, cannot wait for this season. You at the helm. Fans, they submitted a question and they want to know. You've hit a lot of big shots in your career. But what is your favorite shot, if you had to pick one, while donning a Suns jersey?
Bubble!
Yeah, I like the bubble one, but there's no fans in there, so it's, the reaction is whatever. I say in the Garden, game winner versus New York.
That's a pretty good one. Well, it's tough when you got so many of them. It's hard to choose. Can't wait for more of them. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Devin Booker!
Listen, I can already see the ESPN headlines now. Devin Booker says that he loved playing in MSG. Is he a future Knick? Is there trouble in paradise with the Phoenix Suns? No, that shot in MSG was just fantastic. One of the best highlights of Devin Booker's career, but honestly, not the biggest highlight, and I emphasize biggest, from FanFest, because we saw Kaman Malawach, who has been in the weight room. Okay, look at this versus look at Kaman Malawach when he's at Duke. And the difference is crazy. It's nuts. Kaman's been in the gym. I think I'll look it up real quick. I think he said he added like 6 or 7 pounds of muscle. 10 pounds of muscle for Kaman Malawach. I know that when you talk about Kaman, right, and you break down some of his weaknesses and some of his strengths, the rebounding side of it, the physicality side of it was something in college that he really needed to work on, right? Bullying somebody around in the paint, being physical, putting his elbow into somebody, not getting pushed around. Kaman was the type of guy that in order to sustain a really long career in the NBA, he had to put on some weight. And he's been putting in work. You've seen him work out with Chris Johnson, who's also been working out Rasheer Fleming and Bronny James and everything like that. And obviously he's been in the gym as well. So he's on Muscle Watch. We're on Kaman Malawach. And he also today, earlier at practice, we don't have the video, but he was taking threes, and he told PHNX that if he's open, he's going to take the three and he feels comfortable. If this is a guy that can deal with the physicality of the league in year one, if he can put on this weight, play well, finish around the rim, and then open up to the three and let's just say hit enough to semi make somebody think about you from behind the line, that sounds like a pretty ideal rookie season from Kaman Malawach. I know the expectations are pretty tempered considering how little basketball he's actually played in his career and how much we have really yet to see from him, even at the collegiate level, more than just this raw potential. But if he goes out there with a changed physical form and he can actually sustain it and still play fast, because that was one of his big parts on the court in Duke, is he could play fast, then this is a good step for, hey, maybe by the end of the season, Aryton, this is a guy that is a mainstay in the rotation. Maybe he ends up being your backup center over Nick Richards. And as the number 10 pick in the draft, you kind of hope that that's the case.
Sean said it best. Like, this irrationally raises my expectations for him this year. And how can it not? He's put on, the whole question about him was, is he going to be ready? When is he going to be ready? Sure. He's 18. Is it going to take a few years? The biggest holdup for people is usually their body and how that ends up being in the NBA form. If he's getting this close already, watch out.
Well, and look, I can already hear some people rolling their eyes. That's how hard they're rolling their eyes, is that I can hear it. It's just weight, right? Also, I think that picture too, maybe flattering isn't the right word, but I do think that he looked a little exaggerated.
It helps him out for sure.
He looked chunky. Like he looked chunky. When you look at videos of him, he doesn't look chunky. just because he put on the weight doesn't mean he's going to be able to play at an NBA level, right? It is a step, though, in the right direction. And I think it shows a certain dedication, too. I mean, this is a guy that should be going into his freshman year of college. Think about how much your body can change. Hell, I know I put on 50 pounds in college. But think about how much your body can change if you put that work in. And by all accounts, everything we've heard from Kaman is that he is a worker. He is somebody who fits this new Phoenix Suns culture, that fits in with a Dylan Brooks in the video that we showed you earlier, that fits in with the way that Brian Gregory, Matt Ishbia, Jordan Ott, Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Ryan Dunn all want to play. Kaman can fit in that way. Yeah, he's a nice guy. Yeah, he's a good communicator. Yeah, he's always smiling. But if he can get in there and then he can play with a little bit of a bigger presence and continue to work hard and improve, there's a reason why the Suns took this dude with the number 10 overall pick. We're going to be joined by Steven here in just a second. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. While we get Steven settled in, I might as well just give you a little taste of some of the incredible questions he's been asking out at training camp over the weekend. He asked about the potential of the group inverting its offense, and Jordan Ott was impressed by the question and gave an impressive answer.
That group to invert your offense and get Jalen and Devin off the ball and kind of getting dynamic touches in the half court?
Yeah, great question. I think I was around a team that could invert a little bit because you have a 6'11" guy that can handle and play make last year. I think we have an opportunity at times to get there. Book's an incredible screener. Off the basketball, he's an incredible screener. He's great at back picks. He's great when he's in any type of action because of how physical guys are with him. It's hard for defenders to take their bodies off of. So yeah, if you get them down the floor, you obviously want to use their gravity, whether they're spacing or screening. We're building a base with our playmakers first, those guard playmakers first, but we'd love to get to that next layer where they're more screeners than what they are right now.
A great question from Steven. We're going to dive into that answer. We're going to dive into the other questions that Steven asked. Steven was also out at training camp today. Now, he just sat down, but we have Shumdog in the chat saying, are you going to introduce SPG WWE style? And I think I'm going to have to do it. I don't even know. How do they start WWE intros? I don't know. Because can I do like a UFC intro? Yeah. Fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at an undiscriminated amount of pounds, hailing from Chicago, Illinois, he is Mr. Context, the smartest man on the Suns beat, asking questions that Jordan Ott loves. Cutesy legs, Steven Preseason Garner. What's up, Steven?
You know how crazy it is for a wrestler's name to be included with cutesy legs?
That's what the people call you.
That's insane.
That's what the people call you.
You had SPG right there. You went that route. That's a choice.
You got a lot of nicknames,
That's
man.
a choice. You chose
I should introduce you
one.
like they're introducing John Cena and call him the greatest of all time. Because these questions that you're asking out at training camp are awesome. In fact, we have Jordan Ott's facial expressions when you ask that inverted offense question just goes to show like how impressive this is. And we'll pull it up here in a second because honestly, it's just awesome. But how are you doing? How are you feeling? You've been out at training camp for a couple of days now. You're at Fan Fest. What have been your big takeaways?
Competition is one of the operative words. There's another one that me and Aryton both shared in terms of what we're looking forward to as far as preseason goes, but competition. We saw the Suns main account post about Dylan Brooks getting into it with Ryan Dunn and just pushing back and forth. And we heard a few players mention it on Media Day last week, which is crazy. It was almost a week ago now. But these first, 5 days of training camp, has been a lot of talk about competition and that bar being high and that setting the tone for urgency with everything that it is they're working towards.
Yeah, you can sense it in their answers. You can sense it in that video that we showed earlier. Appreciate the love on the intro. Thank you, Junior.
That was fire.
Hey, former PA announcer right here.
Yeah, I was in your bag for sure.
But I love that it doesn't feel like just talk, right? Because you go through media day, you hear a lot of people say a lot of things like Bradley Beal today, just to take another stray at him. Bradley Beal said, people are going to be surprised with my role with the Clippers. It's not going to be what you expect them to be. I'm going to do whatever the team wants to do. And it's like, hey, man, I saw you play basketball last year. That's just not true. But, it feels like these guys are at least in a position to back up what they say and at least to be held accountable by Jordan Ott. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm looking at this preseason and I'm thinking it's so important. Because we're going to see for the first time, and all three of us will give our 5 biggest things we're looking for in preseason a little bit later. But before we get to that, you were out there today, and you asked Jordan a question specifically about the offense. You want to set that up a little bit before we get to it?
Yeah. Well, we talked a lot about offense, and basically Jordan Ott and everything that he's looking to do is create pace. And I was asking him, how do you go about creating that in the half court? Obviously, you can do so if you're coming off of a miss or a steal and you're pushing it in transition. But what about when the defense is set? And here was what Jordan Ott had to say about that today at practice. In the half court, it feels like a trend with the NBA. There's been a lot of teams going towards like that single side and pick and roll. With your offense, does it matter for that because of how much movement is happening as primary action takes place?
We never want to compromise pace into an action with someone filling that corner to balance out the offense. So if we flow into our offense and that corner is not filled, we have actions with that corner empty. So whatever, if there's a person in the corner, if there's not, we'll have reads and situations that we can quickly get to. But yeah, the empty side pick and roll is hard to guard, definitely.
And then to the pace point in the half court, how do you create that? Because teams don't want to just concede that to you. So how do you kind of go about creating that in the half court, being one to play so up tempo?
I think you just, do you have an advantage? Do you not? Cross half court, do you have an advantage? Do you not? Once you don't have an advantage, now you got to get one. So where are your chess pieces at the time when you're in neutral and you don't have an advantage? Where's your 5? Because that's usually the next domino that gets played. If he's already down the floor in the dunker, it's probably quicker to get something else. That way you can get the next advantage into the possession. And then also the confidence to, if anyone's open, shoot it. And there might not be a better opportunity later in the possession, so everyone knows if you get to your spot, if you're open, go ahead. We have the full faith to let it go. And once that thing gets up on the glass, we'll have a solution for that too.
Coach, when you look at just what you guys are able to do today.
Steven, I have a question for you.
Talk to me.
When you're out there and you're asking questions, can you feel how locked in these guys are to your questions? Because like as soon as you start talking, it's some of the most intense eye contact I've ever seen in my entire life. Like they're like, okay, I got to pay attention to this one. I can't just give my usual media spiel. Like, look at this. Like he's locked in on you. Like we'll talk about his answer in a second, but can you feel that when you ask these questions? Like, oh, we're being intentional here.
I think once you get to a point where there's kind of a standard established and people kind of know what to expect from you, I think there's a little bit of that for sure. But I think generally past the me in it, I think it's just that these dudes love to talk basketball.
True.
And especially when it's done so with a certain type of care and there's clear, like, I've paid attention to this, I've studied it, if you will.
It's their life.
Yeah.
Especially this guy.
And when someone can see that in someone else, there's a different type of kind of connection in that. So I think they notice that, and that makes them appreciate it more, and that's why you see the attention.
He's like, that's a film room guy. Yeah, that's a film room guy for sure. But what did you have to take away from what he said, not just about the potential of the group inverting the offense, but also the single side pick and rolls and how they're going to use that attack mismatches and advantages and everything of that sort?
Yeah, I think what they're establishing the foundation for is a very trying to figure out the best way to put it. A very adaptable offense where they can always be in position to dictate to a defense and not allow for a defense to dictate to them. Because when you have to play on the defense's terms, sometimes great offense can trump that, but the percentages don't suggest that that's the best route to go about doing it. So if teams are crowding Devin Booker and he's in pick and roll, if not outright double teaming him, do you have things that you can go to and make your offense adaptable within that? Sometimes the big might slip that screen early and he gets off of it quick. So now it's a bunch of downhill pressure off the catch. Sometimes they might have someone flash up a little bit higher from the wing. He can get off of it quick there. And now that person can hit the roller as they get downhill. And now the defense is in compromising that 4-on-3. So that's just one example of it. But generally speaking, them being able to stay ahead of a defense with the pass and with their decisions is what they're looking at.
Well, that's how you play fast, which is something they've been preaching.
Right.
You have to, A, know that everybody that you're sharing the court with understands that is on the same way, and B, it's drilled in, right? Like, hey, Devin Booker skip ahead passed because Jalen Green's got a slower defender on him running back after a missed shot or a made shot, right? Like, analyzing these things, making decisions in a split second instead of what we saw a lot of last year, which was slowly dribble the ball up past half court, start your action with about 16, 15, sometimes 14 seconds left in the shot clock, and that ends up being a lack of creativity. Hey, let's give it to Kevin Durant on the elbow. And you know what? 50% of the time it's going to work because it's Kevin Durant. I am kind of imagining what if you had Kevin Durant with this type of coaching, but whatever. Whatever. Who cares? Man. Whatever. But it's nice to know that, hey, these are some things that we could be tracking in the preseason, where I think it's more so important and going to be more so pertinent to track than in preseasons of the past, especially the last couple of years for the Phoenix Suns. So what we're going to do is all three of us gave our top 5 things that we're going to be watching in the preseason. That, again, starts this Friday. We will have a pre and a post-game show. Of course, it's going to be colliding with some not so preseason basketball with the Phoenix Mercury in the final. So it'll be Espo and I on PHNX Suns on Friday as Steven holds it down on an incredible Mercury run with some incredible Mercury coverage. But that doesn't mean that we can't get ready for preseason together, and we're going to do it right after our first break. Again, they're still giving me the easiest job of all time. 50% off weed.
Half free.
I mean, listen, it's basically free where it's like you can buy 50% more than what you were getting before at the same price, and then essentially you're getting free weed. Really, however you look at it, depends on how much free weed you've been consuming, but Zen Leaf dispensaries, when it comes to flowers, vapes, edibles, and more, all across the valley, they have you covered for a limited time only. You can use promo code ZEN, PHNX, that's ZEN, PHNX, and get you 50% off a one-time purchase. You can use it on all sorts of things, including beyond the flowers, the vapes, and the edibles. They have tinctures, they have body creams, they have just about everything at Zen Leaf. You can go to their website, link in the description below, or go to locations in Chandler, Gilbert, North Phoenix, and more. Swing by, pick up an order before Friday's preseason game and Mercury game as well. Remember, code ZEN, PHNX, get you 50% off a one-time purchase. And Steven, I don't know if you know this, but I'm pretty stupid. And I felt really stupid. I felt really stupid last week because I wasn't like in desperate need of gas, but I could have filled up, and it was the Circle K Inner Circle member fuel day, and I forgot.
You told everybody else to do it.
I know, I forgot.
That's crazy.
I forgot, and now I'm sitting here and I need to fill up, and I could have gotten 40 cents off per gallon last week as a member of the Inner Circle, and I still get to save money on gas. I'm still getting my 5 cents off per gallon with Circle K, but now I know I just cannot miss the next one. And I won't with Circle K, because not only do I get fuel deals every single day and sometimes the Inner Circle fuel day, but I also get deals on all my favorite electrolyte drinks, all of my favorite food items as well. They have everything over at Circle K, and the best part is there's a Circle K on every corner. How could I forget? I don't know. I was so stupid, but I won't forget again. I promise. And you can join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms, conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for full details. Jackie Dayona says, practice what you preach, bro.
Preach it.
I know, I usually do. That was just an honest, genuine mistake. It was just a genuine mistake, and it won't happen again. I'm sorry, Jackie Daytona. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry about the fact that we have some really cool events going on here at PHNX, including with our Cardinals crew, baby. Friday, October 3rd, it's a live show at Rally House. That's this Friday at 4:30. Packed Friday for PHNX.
A lot going on.
Head over to that live show, then watch the Merc game, watch the Suns preseason game, whichever one you don't catch on Friday. You can run it back on Saturday. I mean, we just have you covered with just about everything. Go phnx.com/events to check out that one as well. Plus, you can become a member today, like so many of you in the chat. We've got Deborah and Junior who are members right now, access to exclusive emojis. You can also become a diehard. We're on sale right now for $36 with a free t-shirt, $9, $56 with a free hat, one of the two. Don't quote me. It's one of the two. You can scan that QR code right now, become a diehard today. Sean says, sing the Rally House jingle. Oh, Sean. Oh, we did. Oh, we did. It'll be out there at some point. But also I want to ask people, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all of that as well. But as we get closer to Suns season, share this with a Suns fan friend that you have. It's really easy. Just hit that share button, share this fun community if you enjoy Steven's questions, our breakdowns, our content, the fun, the actual analytical stuff, everything. Once we get into the preseason and the season, it's going to be a great time. Would highly recommend you, if you know any Suns fans in your family and your friends, maybe your enemies, go ahead and share it with them. We can all come together over PHNX Suns. Steven.
Yo.
Preseason on Friday. How excited are you?
Very excited.
Why?
Because Suns basketball is back, first of all, more than anything. And I think it's going to be a breath of fresh air, the ways in which they're going to compete before anything schematic happens, just the general approach to the game. I think it's going to be a high level of competition. And it's going to be met by players that are coming into the rotation after that starting unit. That's the streamline. That's the foundation piece I want to speak to more than anything else.
Yeah, I think foundation is a good word to put it. That's why this is so important. This Friday, look, at the end of the day, it is preseason, right? If the Suns are not great or if they're great, how much bearing does it have on the regular season and actually them, overcoming whatever? Not a ton. But that doesn't mean, especially more so than the last couple of years, that this isn't extremely important, not just because of the young guys, but because you have a first-time head coach. This will be the first time that Jordan Ott coaches. NBA basketball will be on Friday against the Los Angeles Lakers, right? That's going to be important from a schematic perspective and from everything. So what we did is each of us put our top 5 things that we'll be watching for in preseason. We'll go ahead and get started with my top 5 preseason things to watch. I'll give them to you all 5, and then we'll break them down one by one. So how about defensive intensity and play style? That is the number one thing I'm going to be watching for, especially as an identity builder for this team. And number 2, it's kind of the same thing. Offensive roles. Who's doing what? Who's the quote-unquote point guard? Who is the quote-unquote power forward, right? How much are they involving the center? Is it going to be in the dunker spot? Are you going to be out on the perimeter with lots of handoffs? Is it going to be a mix of things? All that. Next up is first off the bench. What do the rotations look like? Is it Colin Gillespie? Is it Grayson Allen? Is it another big man because of Mark Williams? Is Mark Williams even playing? If they play big is also something I'm going to be looking for, not just in lineups, but in your effort, in your ability, especially when you're starting either Dylan Brooks or Ryan Dunn as your power forward, and Nigel Davis and Rasheer Fleming, 2 unproven things, and the NBA commodity as your other power forwards off the bench. Are you playing big? And the very last one, possibly the most important one, Steven, are they having fun? Where would you like to start out of my 5?
I would start with, are they having fun?
That's the big thing, right?
I feel like if they're competing, they're having fun. That feels like those 2 words are in lockstep with one another with where this team is trying to get to this season. Well,
and I think a lot of those things kind of go hand in hand. Like you mentioned, these guys live, breathe, sleep, poop basketball, right? It's their entire life. How frustrating is it to be playing basketball and not enjoying it?
Yeah,
right?
That's a problem.
Which is last year.
That affects your entire life.
And that's all last year, right? It's what you love.
Sure.
And when you're doing what you love, but you're not enjoying it, like it makes it really hard. Some people are like, oh, these guys have it easy. They're playing basketball. They're playing a game for a living.
Millions of dollars. Like, yeah.
Right.
But you can't detach the human part from all of that.
The human part of decades at this point of investment into this game and deeply loving it, right? To go into last season with a Ryan Dunn, Osa Godaro, your first taste in the league, right? Or a Devin Booker, a Grayson Allen, a Royce O'Neal, you're in the league as a veteran now, in some cases for a decade. And Book said that was the hardest 2 years of his career.
Yeah.
To go in and to just have fun, hopefully would be a very freeing experience for everybody, but especially for those veterans that are still on this roster.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, like I mentioned a couple of times last week, I think there's going to be value taken in having seen what it looks like to have a bunch of top-end talent and that naturally come with expectations, but not meet those expectations.
Right.
And to not just do it once, but to do it the second time 2, 4, 6 steps deeper into it than you underwhelmed the season prior and just outright missing the playoffs. And kind of understanding, okay, what do we look like every day? How do guys approach the everyday? And looking at those things and making sure that those things aren't being repeated. Or if you see inklings of that, nipping that in the bud immediately, and that no pun intended on the bud part. But
I mean, we got Deborah and Ashley in chat saying last year was torture. Right? I mean, this is our escape. Like Phoenix Suns basketball is our escape. It's their livelihood. It's their love. It's their baby. Like the fact that we look at the last 2 years and especially last season and have, nothing but like bad things to say about it. Sure, some good things happen, but nobody's walking away from those seasons happy about anything, not even the players. To then hopefully go to the polar opposite end of the spectrum and probably win the same amount of games, if not hopefully more. Right? That's going to be such a mental roadblock that's going to be overcome for this team. And you get the best out of guys when you're playing fun, right? And that's just anything. Whether you're playing basketball yourself, you're playing video games, you're playing cards, or whatever you're doing. If you're competing and you're having fun competing, you're usually going to hit a higher level than if you're not. And so I think that's a good number one thing to watch. But what about out of defensive intensity and play style, offensive roles, first off the bench, and if they play big, what would you say you're looking at the second most?
I'm probably torn between defensive identity and offensive roles.
Yeah,
because
it's fair. Two biggest overarching things.
The way they approach the chess pieces that they have on both ends of the floor within all of that, I think it's gonna be not fascinating as in, oh my God, that's so crazy what they're doing, but it's gonna be like fascinating to see how it develops over the course of the season.
Well, yeah, and to see Jordan Ott for the first time install these things, and not only that, but see, okay, how on the same page are the players, right? Because as much as I think we can all agree that this is going to be a more prepared team, this is going to be a grittier team, I think we all also understand that there's going to be some growing pains with this team, right? What do they need to work on? Hey, whose offensive role is what? Is Jalen Green really the quote-unquote point guard here? And if he is, how is he A, being used, and B, how is he playing in that usage? Maybe it's rough. Maybe it's something you say, okay, we're leaving game one and we're saying Jalen Green's got a ton of work to do in this specific category. Maybe it's Devin Booker on defense. Maybe it's Ryan Dunn's shooting. And again, it's one game. We'll all, hold space for the fact that it's just one preseason game. But it'll be fascinating to start to see some breadcrumbs that are going to be left to pick up on and patterns that we can notice on both sides of the ball, because it should be night and day from last year. Yeah,
that's going to be the fun part of it. Jordan Ott's mentioned a couple of times that there's specific elements that are going to be a work in progress. There's going to be growing pains, like to what you said. But being able to learn through those mistakes and then see the breakthrough point of it is going to be, again, just fun to see. If we talked about last season with Ryan Dunn getting into those Mikal Bridges kind of screen under, stay under situations, when is he getting to the point where he's starting to throw that lob pass?
Right.
He doesn't have the group of bigs that he did last season with this roster.
Can somebody throw lob passes, please?
And the opportunities are going to present itself because of the kind of triggers and the different layers of the offensive approach that they'll have. So I'm going to be curious to see just kind of how those things piece themselves together.
Yeah. Other two things that I mentioned, if they play quote unquote big and first off the bench, I think rotations will be interesting. Obviously it's preseason, so a lot of guys are going to get run, especially some of the guys that usually won't be getting as much run. But is it Colin Gillespie coming in for a Jalen Green or Devin Booker? Is it Grayson Allen coming in for a Ryan Dunn or a Dylan Brooks? Is Mark Williams playing, and or is Mark Williams getting a lot of minutes? And is it Nick Richards or is it Kaman Malawach? Right? Where's Nigel Hayes-Davis kind of fall into play? With so many options on this team, I'd say usually your rotation is going to go 10 or 11 deep on most nights with this roster. I'm interested to see what pieces are paired where with Jordan Ott, and maybe what lineups kind of pop a little bit off the bat. Hopefully it's a starting lineup, but maybe it's Grayson Allen and Jalen Green. That's a duo that hasn't been talked about as much. Maybe it's Colin Gillespie and Mark Williams. Like I think there's a couple of maybe under the radar combos when you start bringing in guys off the bench. That'll be fun to see if they pop.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the fun part about having so much newness with the Suns. I don't feel like there was enough to where we were kind of guessing to this extent what pieces might be featured together and what pieces might work together. And I think that's the fun part, just the ambiguity of it. But the kind of trust that we can see already being built from Jordan Ott and company to steer the wheel of where it is they're heading is it's very fun to see.
Yeah, but does the car have enough gas is something that we can only answer throughout the actual season.
The car could use an engine.
Yeah.
Shout out Alyssa Thomas. By the way, Jordan loves Alyssa Thomas.
Who doesn't?
He was almost foaming at the mouth. He said she's a coach's dream for multiple reasons.
I mean, she's a triple-double machine. She plays great defense.
She doesn't make bad decisions.
Nothing. She does. She is pretty damn close to just a perfect basketball player. And I'll tell you what, I can talk about this Mercury team for the rest of the show. We'll save it for PHNX Mercury, though.
You and Erica have you on the post-game show.
Yeah, you and Erica have been absolutely fantastic. Incredible stuff going on over at PHNX Mercury. You can check that out. But we are talking Suns right here. What are SPG's, the man who got the introduction earlier, what are his keys to the preseason game one, things to watch? We'll go over that. Plus, Juice Man's going to get on the fun. We're going to do it all after our last break. You got money. It's a fact. It's for some more than others. Like you saw Devin Booker's man cave. He's got more money than all of us combined, but everybody's got at least some money, so might as well have your money in a great place. And a great place is Mountain America Credit Union, the exclusive home of the Suns card and the exclusive credit union partner of the Phoenix Suns. Not only can you get that Suns card, but you can get it as a checking or as a debit card with your MyStyle checking account. Get mobile phone protection, identity protection, restaurant deals, telehealth access, loan rate discounts, offers on travel and events, and so much more. Or you can get it as a no annual fee credit card. Low rate, cashback, rewards card are all options for you with the Suns card. And Mountain America is here to guide you forward on your financial journey. So go get your Suns card today. Apply at any Arizona branch, insured by NCUA. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply. Loans are on approved credit. Visit macu.com/Suns to learn more. This show, of course, presented by Bet365. My life presented by Bet365 because it's never ordinary with Bet365. Right now, of course, it's in the middle of football season. Sorry for your Ravens, Steven. But it's also the middle of baseball season. Sorry for my Diamondbacks. And, of course, the WNBA postseason still going on. Not sorry for those Mercury. Lots of action going on. And, of course, the NBA preseason is gearing up. Bet365 has all sorts of different fun payouts, early payouts, same-game parlay deals, safe bets, everything like that. Plus, right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use code PHNX365, deposit 10, place a bet for 5, and get 200. Good math. And bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. At Bet365, must be 21 plus and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov. We got Chris, Bees, Sean, Deborah, Melissa, Matt, Ashley, all the stars, Boom Shakalaka, Dagoon, Muhammad, hanging out with us in the chat right now. Thank you all so much. If you missed PHNX Mercury last night, Steven gave us a wah, which was awesome. You're going to give us one here too, or?
We'll see.
I heard.
We'll wait till preseason game one.
Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard that if a certain WNBA team wins the finals, you'll be hitting the Carlton on air?
That is not what I did not sign that verbal contract.
I've heard it.
I didn't sign that verbal contract. We'll see.
So you're not ruling it out?
I'm not ruling it out, but that's not terms that I agreed to.
Could you imagine if you hit the Carlton live on air?
They're 4 wins away from it, so it's more than
Chris says you will. Sean says make it happen.
I
hit the worm on air, bro. You can hit the Carlton.
Melissa bullied me into doing it. So
what?
No. She's talking about making me dance and whatnot.
I'd love to see you dance. What's your go-to dance move? Dance circle, SPG gets pushed into the center. What are you doing?
I got a little two-step.
Oh.
I'm too cool. I'll just be two-stepping.
You are the little step to the side.
Mm-hmm. I'm smooth. I got good footwork.
Point guard.
Chris knows better than anybody.
Yeah.
He ended up on the floor because of it a few times.
Oh, we need you on our men's league team, bro. We got to.
No, I'm just playing. I ain't played Chris yet because he's scared.
Oh, wow,
so that's the real
Chris.
Reason why. Yeah.
How about this? You and Chris play. If Chris beats you, you got to do the the Dougie. Melissa says don't sleep on the Dougie.
See, now she doing too much. I said I would do a little something. I said I'd do a little something, and now she's taking it to. She's going too far with it.
You hit the Dougie quite a bit back in the day, didn't you?
Nah, I used to do the Soulja Boy though.
Oh,
the Soulja Boy was big.
Hey, look at me.
Bro, that was like 19,
me.
20 years
Look at me.
ago, man.
Look at
Knock
me.
it off.
I know if we played it, you could do it. Yeah, you buy
I forgot how
No,
to
you
do it.
didn't. The music would speak to you.
I forgot.
Can you make me a podcast? A podcast. I looked at the comment.
Huh? That's what
Can you
we
make me a
doing now.
promise? Can you make me a promise?
I'm depends on what you're asking for.
If the Phoenix Suns make the playoffs,
Okay. Which I predicted.
will you do the Soulja Boy dance live on air?
No, not for playing in the playoffs.
Will you do it if they win a first round series?
Yes. This season?
This season.
Yes.
Yes, please. I need it so bad. I need it so bad. We'll do it in overtime. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be great. Man, can we get to the postseason already? Well, Steven, we got to get to the preseason first. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for Steven. Hit the Carlton live on air, and then hit the Soulja Boy if the Suns make the playoffs and win a first round series, and maybe the Dougie if they win the in-season tournament.
We'll discuss when that time gets a little closer.
Matt Dennis says screen recorded. It's locked in. Don't worry. That's my guy, Matt. Speaking of locked in,
That's AI. That's AI.
That's AI.
I already got
We faked it. It's locked in. We're going to be locked in on Friday. Steven, what are the 5 things you're looking at the most for this Suns preseason?
Yeah, I think there's a lot. I had to condense like a list of 25
Yeah.
down to 5. So I went with these this morning. Habits and principles of play on both ends of the floor. What does the help defense look like? How much are they shading? Are they in passing lanes? And then on offensive end, what is the cutting looking like? What's their dynamic spacing looking like? Where's Devin Booker and Jalen Green in respect to one another? Who's initiating? Who's off the ball? Where are they off the ball? Things like that. Quality of three-point shots generated. So they want to get up a lot of threes, but how are they going about generating those? Is it a lot of pull-up threes from Booker and Green, or are they able to go get paint touches because of the spacing that they're working out of, which then puts the defense in rotation and leads to open catch-and-shoot threes? So I'm curious what that's going to look like. Defensively, pick-up points. How often are they picking up players at half court? How often are they extending it to 3/4, if not all the way to the opposite baseline for a full 94 feet? Who is it that's doing that within their personnel? Obviously, I think we could all assume it's going to be Ryan Dunn and a little bit of Colin Gillespie doing that, but who else might surprise in that?
Mm-hmm.
I imagine if Jordan Goodwin gets minutes, he's going to be doing the same. But who's going to be a surprise? Maybe Jalen Green does it. Maybe Devin Booker does it a little bit. Number 4 for me, looking specifically at the offensive rebound. So Jordan Knox talked about wanting to be a team that's intentional about attacking the glass. He said there's going to be specific players that are given a green light to do so. What does that look like as far as the technique? Are you just crashing? Are you hitting specific sides of a person's body to create that space or to create that angle? And then the last one for me is lineup prospects. You talked about that a little bit. Who's first off the bench? Who's coming in these different lineup rotations and different things like that? What type of player groupings do we see with it as well?
I think there's a lot that I want to break down from your list.
Yeah,
I want to start with
ask.
the quality of three-point shots.
Sure.
Because that's something to where this team on paper is not the most talented three-point shooting team. Now, don't get me wrong. They've got Grayson Allen, who's one of the best three-point shooters. They got Devin Booker, who, of course, can do it. Jalen Green gets them up. Dylan Brooks had a career year. Then you start getting to, okay, Royce O'Neal, really hot, really cold. Colin Gillespie, great, but on a really, really small sample size. Ryan Dunn, up and down, right? Your bigs, you have Kaman, who was taking threes at practice today, but obviously none of your bigs are proven as shooting threes. Nigel Hayes Davis
Nick
has
Richards taking threes at practice at the end of last
Who?
week too. Nick Richards.
Nick
Top of the
Richards?
key threes, and he made
Midi
pretty
Jimbo
much
and
every
Nick
one that I
Richards?
saw, actually, yeah. On the quietest key, so we got some fun things to look forward to, y'all.
But I think that with this roster, more so than the last couple of years, for a lot of reasons, you're going to need to set up your shooters a lot better than just walking into them. And so not just how do you generate good quality three-point shots, but how do you generate really good quality three-point shots when you're not going to have the same higher end gravity that you had when Kevin Durant was on the team? I know Jalen Green will attract attention. I know Book will attract attention, but overall, there's going to be some less gravity to go around for a shooter like a Grayson Allen or Ryan Dunn or a Dylan Brooks. So how does Coach Ott position them in the best way to get them the best looks and get their confidence going?
Yeah, it's all about trying to create advantages, and I think it was easy for the Suns to create advantages last season. And I feel like that's why some of the principles of play got lost in the plot some. Because you know that if you throw the ball down to Kevin Durant in the mid-post, he's going to see a double team and a half. And that's going to be something you can always poke at a defense with. Similarly, they also knew anytime you put Devin Booker in pick and roll or Kevin Durant in pick and roll, that was going to get two to the ball. You could play off of that. Now, you still have a player that gets as much attention as anyone else as far as double teams goes in pick and roll in particular. Mm-hmm. You have to be more intentional about the things you're doing outside of that. Jalen Green gets double teams, but he doesn't get the same type of double teams that Devin Booker does.
And he doesn't pass as well out of those double teams.
Correct.
At all.
Correct. And because of those things, you have to take it into account. You have to have ways to create advantages outside of one specific way. So that's why I talk about the relationship of Green and Booker. When one is on the ball, what's the other doing off of it? Are they screening for each other? Are they screening for each other off the ball that distorts matchups, which allows for Jalen to go up against someone that's probably less fleet-footed that's initially guarding Devin Booker because you want somebody that's a little bigger and maybe a little bit stronger to guard someone like Book because he's a little bit more physical. So like little things like that I think are going to matter in terms of principles and habits of play. I'm looking forward to kind of seeing how those things play out. But to the three-pointers point, it was easier for the Suns to play swing basketball because of the double teams that Booker and Kevin Durant saw last season. Outside of Devin Booker, that's 1/3 of the three ways they generated those shots most last season. Is Jalen Green getting a lot more paint touches and looking for those spray kickout passes?
Yeah, it's gonna be a different type of gravity, even if it's not as strong. The paint, the gravity around the rim this year, especially not just with Jalen, but with Mark as well. Hopefully, a healthy Mark Williams. Hopefully, that can kind of entice, maybe not as strong as gravity, but just a deeper gravity to pull guys into.
Yep, that matters because for that extra second that someone either has to wait to make a decision or that extra step they have to take over to someone else to account for something, now you got someone like Grayson that's shooting an even more healthy attempt from catch and shoot three. Or even for players like Dylan Brooks or Royce O'Neal or Ryan Dunn who have had some ups and downs. But if those shots are seeing someone a step or two further away from than they typically are and it's coming at a certain rhythm and cadence, these are professional shooters. Like they vary in terms of level of production and efficiency, but if you're getting them good looks consistently, they're going to knock down more than they miss.
Yeah, and then, of course, you could look at everything else, too, with Colin Gillespie, right, who took some really deep threes and was really good at pull-up threes, right? Was really good at kind of creating his own shot, pulling up from deep as well and hitting that at a high volume. Or you look at a Nigel Hayes-Davis who's developed his three-point shot overseas in Fenerbahce most recently, but is somebody who knows that he's going to be shooting a lot of spot-up threes and has gone up to Devin Booker like he told us when he was on PHNX and said, how do you want me to best position myself when you're getting double-teamed? And Nigel Hayes-Davis saying like, hey, selfishly speaking, I want to be in the right spot off of whatever you're doing so that I can play better. Right. And Nigel Hayes-Davis still trying to prove his role as well. What about Rasheer Fleming? Right. We see Rasheer Fleming as a guy that maybe he doesn't contribute as much this year, but if he's hitting threes and if he's getting open threes to at least get that confidence up, that might cascade. Like that's why, again, this preseason is so important. The quality of the 3-point shot's important, but at the end of the day, they got to knock them down. Two, a lot of other stuff to dig into on yours. Habits and principles of play. You know, that I feel like also kind of falls into the defensive, offensive identity and stuff that I talked about before. But I think you mentioned a couple of those little things. If you could give like a top 3 little things that you want to see box checked for in the preseason for this team, what would it be?
Jalen Green and Devin Booker working off of handoffs and working from the corners of the floor. So coming up the floor into dribble handoff situations or screening the handoff situations, and getting them touches on the move so that the defense can't so easily load up against them. Versus if they're statically dribbling up the court, a pick and roll, a pick is getting ready to come. It's a slow development action, and the defense can kind of get into the gaps versus them. If you can get them dynamic touches, what does that do for their game? Does that get them more paint touches? Number 2 for me, I'm very curious where they're setting their screens at this season.
You've been asking so much about screens.
It matters.
You're Mr. Screening.
It matters so much. And to that point, for Devin Booker in particular, if he's getting double teamed, are they going to set the screens a little higher up the floor for him where last season it was like maybe a step or two beyond the 3-point line? Are they setting those screens a little bit closer to where the logo is on the floor? If he's getting double teamed, is that big still getting all the way up the floor to the level of the screen to double team him? And if he is, then that's more room underneath for that 4-on-3 to play with more of the half court to work with than that. And then the other one for me in terms of defensively, I'm very curious what their bigs are doing because they said they want to play an active defense. your point of attack defense is important when that, but the other part of it is, what are the screeners defenders doing? If they're closer to the level or outright at the level of the screen or up to touch at least, things look different as far as putting pressure on people.
Yeah, I think those are really fun things that we'll, of course, keep you up to date with. Maybe we'll get a little Steven Stunny after some preseason action.
For sure.
Offensive rebounding, I like how you said, like, how are you offensive rebounding as well? And then how are you countering the selling out to offensive rebounding and not giving up fast breaks and being able to still have guys back and ready to defend? And then lineup prospects. I think who's playing with who is going to be something that we're definitely going to be tracking. Any final thoughts on your top 5 things to watch in this preseason before we get to Fisherton's top 10 over there? New nickname, by the way.
That's crazy. I never heard that one.
It just came up today. Yeah.
Offensive rebounding process for me, because you look at Oklahoma City, you look at Indiana, teams that are monsters on the margins, one of those margins being second chance points and creating extra possessions. Typically, the team that has more opportunities to get up shots on goal wins most games. So if you can make up for maybe your lack of three-point shooting as a team by getting more extra possessions than your opponents, that matters. And if you're doing that in tandem with forcing turnovers, now you're really talking about playing a game on your terms more often than not. That's something that the Mercury are the best in the W at. That's why they took down both teams that were in the finals in succession in these first 2 rounds. So Jordan has an affinity for the style of play that they have. I think he sees a lot of what he desires to see in his team, in that team. And that's a little bit of it, offensive rebounding.
Yeah. Playing on your own terms is something that's very important.
That's what the best teams do.
Team. And even the teams like Portland last year, right? Was Portland a playoff team last year? No, but when they made their run at the end of the season, what were they doing? They're playing on their terms, playing their style of basketball. Same thing with Houston 2 years ago when they, again, made a run at the end of the season but missed the play-in. What were they doing? Playing basketball on their terms.
Especially defensively.
It's not, and that's where this team's bread and butter will hopefully come from. It's not just your OKCs, right? It's not just your Bostons who are going to make you shoot threes because they're going to shoot a ton of threes. It's not just Cleveland, right? It's not just the best of the best. It's any decent team makes you play on their own terms, right? Because at the end of the day, if you are having to match their style of play, again, look at the 7 seconds or less Suns, right? The grit and grind Grizzlies, like teams that have a very certain identity, more often than not are going to win these close games that are being played in their style. So yeah, you might put up 115 points against the 7 seconds or less Suns. They're going to put up 120 and they feel comfortable doing that. But if you take them out of their game and you make them play a defensive grit and grind type of thing, you're probably going to beat them. So playing on your own terms is extremely important. We're playing on our own terms here on PHNX Suns, and you can hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, become a member, become a diehard. Check out all of our incredible stuff going on at PHNX_Suns, updates from Fan Fest, from training camp, all sorts of fun stuff over on PHNX Suns on Twitter and on Instagram as well. Amna says, anyone else feel like the Jonas Brothers missed out on a massive publicity opportunity yesterday, especially with the Merc W? Should have been there.
Opportunity was there.
Come on. What was it? Nick? Kevin?
I don't know their names.
Joe? Nick, Kevin, and nailed it. Come on, Fisherton. Fire me up. Are those 3 of your top 5 things to watch in preseason?
Unfortunately, they are in the honorable mentions category for this list. But getting into my top 5 things, my first one is, what does pace look like? We've heard a lot about pace, especially through media day, even into training camp with some of the stuff that Steven's been talking about. I think that's going to be really important to define what pace is with this team. My next one is Man-Man's early development. We've also seen some of Kaman's teammates come out and say how impressed they are with his just NBA readiness at 19 years old. So I'd like to see if that translates to on-court stuff. My next one is just Ryan Dunn, flat out. Facts. Ryan Dunn. We just need to know. I mean, he's the X factor. It's time. Let's see. Then number 4 is trying rotations out. Ott has a lot of, boxes that I'd like him to check. I think the main one is him trying rotations out. With this team especially, we just need to try it all out, see what works, and then once we get towards the end of the season, that's when we really start ironing things down. Finally is Grayson and Royce's role in this team. They're the vets, they're important, but also throughout this entire offseason, it's been what can we get for both of these guys. So I think seeing where they stand in this rotation and in this team is going to be important to kind of figure that out early.
I like it. What would you say out of those 5 that you're watching the most?
Out of those 5, definitely man's development naturally.
Well, I mean, he's developed quite a bit.
I mean, for all of the Bod Watch peeps out there, if anybody you want to be watching that with is Milo Watch because of that in particular. I think the other one with what Aryton mentioned for me is the Ryan Dunn of it all.
Yeah.
Because I think he is the X factor for the team.
Absolutely.
I think anyone else, as far as Jalen Green or Dylan Brooks, are overqualified for the X factor role. I think Ryan is a lot of that. I think Mark Williams even is too good to be an X factor in my opinion as well.
The health of Mark Williams is an X factor.
The health can be an X factor,
Yeah.
but skill wise, I think he's too good for that. I think Ryan Dunn fits that kind of role perfectly for the team. So looking at how he's used, I talked with him about making quick decisions at the end of last week, and he said that's something that he's looking to continue to add to everything that it is he's adding skill wise to the game. So the Ryan Dunn of it all, usage on defense. How is he defending without fouling now?
That's
a big piece
the
in it.
offense, the 3-point, everything like that. That's important for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to be way better, especially against the Stars, which I don't know how many Stars he's going to be facing in preseason, especially against the Nets in China. But he needs to. Here's the thing: Cam Thomas's the kind of guy that's probably going to foul bait, right? So can you be better, and do you maybe have a little bit more of a reputation this year that you can get away with, especially playing with Dylan Brooks?
I think with Ryan, while we're on the topic, and Aryton, feel free to chime in here too. I think there was a feel that he maybe needed to be perfect defensively because he wasn't covered on the backside in the ways that he will be this season in terms of rim protection. So you look around him, he has Mark Williams. As a help defender, he has someone like Dylan Brooks that's around, in addition to who he had last season when he was featured in lineups with Royce O'Neal. I think him being better positioned to take a little bit more risk and be a little bit more kind of aligned with the risk side of taking those things on defense, knowing that he has his back end covered will matter a lot for him.
I'm beefing with Aryton in the chat.
Yeah, I see that.
Just so people know.
Giggling back and forth.
Yeah, no, everybody's giving a ton of love to Aryton. I think the list was fine. It was okay.
I mean, the people love me. What can I say?
Everybody has wrong opinions.
The people, I mean, Shumdog and Ashley.
Shumdog and Shumdog. No,
I'm curious if Jordan Ott's clipboard is Bud's clipboard from last season and involved.
It is. It is because they said they're looking for Rickety.
For sure.
Which is like it's a match made in chat heaven. We need Rickety Bridge back in here. Aiden says Jordan Ott greater than Phil Jackson. I love it. This is what preseason is all about. If you are watching on television, I have to tell you that the party always continues over at gophnx.com, which means it's time for overtime. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Everybody tell Aryton how much you love him in chat. Mario says, don't trust Aryton after the jersey rankings anyway. Dude, it is a stain on your legacy. Yeah. It's a stain on your legacy, Aryton. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, I love it. What I stand for.
He does not
stand
care.
for overcast jerseys in the most sunny city in this side of the hemisphere.
Yeah, I think
at least stateside.
Yuma's technically the sunniest city in the world.
Mm-hmm.
At least what I'm aware.
And this man want them to run out there with overcast jerseys on and just the slightest bit of orange.
Yeah, what are
Knock
you doing?
it off, bro.
I mean,
Stop
Aryton, get it together. Good list though. Good. You're never living that down. Just so you're never living that down.
He was trying to take one of those top tier jerseys down to uplift that joint, which is even crazier for me.
Nuts.
It's the Mike Budenholzer double down. That's not the time to double down, my man.
Jordan Ott's clipboard. We'll get to your comment in a second. I have a question for you, Aryton. This is very important.
I'm ready.
What's the better jersey? The Phoenix Suns long gray jersey or the new Statement Edition jerseys?
Ooh.
What is the
right? It's got to be a bit, right? It's got to be a bit.
I mean,
this is so a bit, Aryton.
I'm willing to admit that nostalgia might be playing into my rankings, but I truly do love them jerseys, and I have.
This is such a bit, dude.
There's tweets from multiple years back that
you were doing a bit back then. The world's longest bit.
The bit is consumed me then.
Yeah, Sean says even thinking about that question is insane.
Thank you, Sean.
Oh, God. Aiden says, I miss when they did camp in Flagstaff because running in that elevation will make you a demon. They've been spending a ton of time in Flagstaff this offseason either way.
I'm glad training camp's not in Flagstaff because there's no way I'm driving there
every day.
Back every day and making a 3 p.m. show. Yeah,
Jordan's clipboard says missed us. We missed you too. Says, hey Steven, I can't wait to change my name to Steven Prejean Gardner's clipboard one day, but I don't think a username can be that long. SPG's clipboard.
That'd
kind of go crazy.
I appreciate that.
That'd kind of be crazy.
That would be pretty cool.
Shout out everybody in the chat. Aiden, Aryton, Jordan, Weedo, Bees, Shumdog, Rabdert Dusenberry. Thank you for being here, Rabert Dusenberry. We really do appreciate you. Back to Aryton's list as we wrap things up here on PHNX Suns presented by Bet365.
Mm-hmm.
What does pace look like? I think that's a very interesting note because is it skip ahead passes? Is it running like the Pacers, or is it defense, right? Is it your pace on defense? Is it picking up 94 feet? Like what exactly are the intricacies of the pace that they've been talking about for a long time now?
Yeah, I'm waiting to see that play out too. It was ironic and funny that we both mentioned that with our preseason things to watch. And I asked about that at training camp. We played the video a little earlier. I think it's just them making quick decisions in the half court, but kind of not just one person seeing something and making a decision in respect to it, but moving in unison with one another. I think that part is going to matter. I think it's going to be a work in progress. It won't show up on day one of training camp or day one of preseason games, but I think that's something that we'll start to see the bones of as they kind of iron out the kinks with one another.
It's going to take time. It's not all going to happen on Friday. We're not going to show up on Friday and the Suns' complete identity is there and Jordan Knott's installed his system and blah, blah. But we'll hopefully see bits and pieces of it. What are your top things you're looking forward to in preseason? Let us know down in the comments below. Aiden says, was there no camp interviews today? Well, we did play an answer from Jordan Ott earlier. Any other takeaways? Did you just speak to Ott today, or?
Yeah, we talked with Jordan Ott, Kobe Bryant, and Mr. Malawatch himself.
What are your big takeaways?
Big is Kaman Malawatch. It's one thing to see him at a podium. It's another thing to be standing like right in front of him.
Yeah.
Before he sits down, and then he sits down and he's like the same size.
Did he look at you and say, "I'm trying to be like you, big dog"?
Definitely.
Like Dwayne Rankin does when he sees you.
Definitely not. No. But it was funny to see and hear him talk about the muscle difference from his first introduction to the Suns to now. And he said it hasn't been a lot of weights that he's been using. It's been more so just building out. I'm assuming he's talking about with like resistance band training and things like that.
What the hell is he doing?
Yeah. But he said he's up quite a few pounds in terms of building muscle. Yeah. So he's been
without
in the gym.
weights?
Yeah. They got him on a nice regimen. So
I really hope we don't have another top pick suspension. Because what? You get 10 pounds of muscle with just resistance bands?
I don't think it's that.
That's crazy.
But he's been locked in. And Jordan Ott said he thinks that
I don't think it's that either, for the record. That's a joke.
Jordan Ott said he thinks he will start to see that kind of play into his game on the court as time goes on, and he starts to really establish that as a habit. But Kobe Bryant, I had a nice conversation with Kobe about some of the things in his game that stand out. He talked in detail about route running and the intentionality that goes into that. I mentioned it over the summer, talking about him getting into almost like a wide receiver. It's regimented. You run.
I'm sure you love talking about routes with wide receiver, Mr. Flag football quarterback.
If you're a receiver,
3-time champ,
3 times,
3-time,
3 times, and an MVP. Don't forget that part. Right before I left, actually, too. So
gotta find you a league out here, man.
Maybe. But Kobe talking about that being a repetitive thing. It's not by happenstance that you get into these things so quickly. And asked Jordan Ott about that dynamic of Kobe's game, and he said, yeah, not a lot of people have that to that extent because it's not something that's used like essentially Ray Allen and Rip Hamilton were in the mid-2000s and early 2000s. And obviously J.J. Redick most recently. Players don't play to that as much, but what is similar to it is running into these screen and the handoff in the screen scenarios now.
Yeah. Really excited. I feel like every single player on this roster has some very specific strengths and unique strengths to them. And they're strengths that could totally go underutilized, right? By a lot of people, by a lot of rosters, or a lack of playing time or whatever. But I do feel like with the right system, with the right coaching and the right situation, hopefully this is, you can get a lot out of it. Any final thoughts on our things to watch in the preseason before we continue our coverage leading up this week? Of course, Steven also covering this wonderful Mercury team who are just kicking ass and taking names. Literally. Any final thoughts on everything that we've talked about so far today?
Prepare yourself to have some fun on Friday.
Yes.
Because
my God,
that first
I'd love
game,
to. You're talking about the Suns game, right?
Yes, that first game.
Because I'm going to have fun with the Mercury game for sure.
But no, the first game for the Suns, I think Jordan Knott is chomping at the bit to kind of get his feet wet on the sideline in game scenarios. I think the players are also eager to see what things look like against a different opponent because they've been getting after it in training camp. You can hear, like we can't see, they have it walled off to where we can't see what's going on until we actually get on the court. And by that time, it's individual workouts. But the scrimmages, I heard a lot about Colin Gillespie having some clutch shooting showings. Kobe Brea getting on a heater at practice today. And Rasheer Fleming surprising people at practice today as well, in terms of when they got into scrimmage 5-on-5 situations. So there's some fun to be had with what this team is working towards. And that's all not to mention what people expect naturally from Jalen Green and Devin Booker and company.
You got my juices flowing, man. I mean,
saying, man.
Basketball this week.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. We deserve basketball.
You got basketball at the highest level on the women's side, and then on the men's side, you got a team that's eager
We've been blessed
to get it rolling.
This Mercury team has absolutely blessed us. I'm still rolling with a Mack truck as my X factor for the series. Obviously, figure out who they play tonight, right? Aces Fever tomorrow. So we'll know, hopefully, pretty soon who they're going to be playing. Aiden says W week in Phoenix. The vibes are high for the Suns. They're even higher for the Mercury. Hopefully the Suns can capture.
Shout out to all the Suns players and front office executives as well. Because I've seen Jesse Mermis, I believe, with this woman, as well as Brian Gregory. Because I saw them together at FanFest as well. Anyways,
yeah, we'll see. We don't really know. Not to put his business out there.
Saw Brian Gregory at a couple of the Mercury games the last handful of weeks as well. Jordan Knox came through. Devin Booker's been to a few games. And then Dylan Brooks has been to like 3 or 4 games since he touched down in the Valley. Jalen Green's been to a few. It's been a shout out to everybody with the franchise that's been coming through. They've been showing up and they've been like no one's been more engaged than Ryan Dunn. I'll say that.
Oh, for sure.
Dude's been standing up. He's been flexing with Kalia Copper. She gets an and one, throwing up the threes with Satu.
Causing dog. This is a basketball city. Let's all of us here right now. Let's just get one thing straight. This is a basketball city. Football's great. Baseball's great. Love those things. This is a basketball city. The Mercury are proving it now and have proved it multiple times throughout their entire history. The Suns have proved it. Not as often, but they have proved it. This is a basketball city, and the teams support each other. The fans should support both teams. I know we've gotten some comments saying, this is the Suns podcast. Don't talk about the Mercury. Go somewhere else, because women's hoops is elite hoops. It's wonderful hoops, and the Mercury are playing it better than anybody right now. Super, super fun times over there with Erica and Steven on the PHNX Mercury pod. Of course, Kevo also producing that. If you missed last night's show, it was incredible. Over 100% like rate. I don't think people understand how hard that is to do as a show. To have more likes than sometimes people live, and there was not a small number of people live at all. Steven gave us a wah, which was awesome. Amazing, and he might hit the Soldier Boy if they win it all. Just kidding. That's for the Suns. It's the Aiden, Carlton if they win it all.
Sorry, bro. Aiden, my condolences.
Yeah,
but yeah,
who do you want to play, the Fever or the Aces? That's not what you were apologizing.
No, that's not what I was apologizing for.
We both had to break the news to him.
Great taste, but bad news for you, brother.
Listen. For the cinema, you got to give me the Aces. Actually, I don't know. For the cinema, maybe Sophie Cunningham and the Fever.
Listen,
Aces, bro. The Aces got the better top end talent. Obviously, with Caitlin Clark out, but the fact that the Fever are even here in the first place, it's funny. I've been to a game against the Aces, and then I went to the game against the Fever where they just beat the brakes out of them without Caitlin, and I feel like the Fever gives them a better chance.
You got to see DeWanna in her bag.
Yeah.
maybe as
Oh,
much as
God.
any other game this season.
Dude.
Yeah.
That, and then I forget who they play. I was there for a crazy comeback win.
They had a few. So
I know it was one of the, it was one of the early, it was one of the, it was
yeah.
one where Whitcomb went crazy.
Hmm.
It was early. Everybody was like injured. I think just it was Satu's first game back.
No, wasn't against Minnesota, was it?
No, it wasn't the Lynx. It was Satu's first game back. Alyssa Thomas and Ka were both out. Whitcomb went crazy. Oh my God, who did they play?
There's been a few of those.
Oh, Sophie's out too. That's right.
Yeah,
She'd have to
Sophie's out
watch.
as well. Yeah.
She still have to watch though. Front row seats.
Yeah, the back and forth between Dewana and the Fever. For some fans that would enjoy to see that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would rather see the Mercury go up against the Las Vegas Aces because top end talent for top end talent.
Cinema.
You got two all-time great players and all-time great forwards in particular. That's a match made in basketball heaven right there for basketball product.
I don't like what Mario just said in the chat. Says it would be fitting for Caitlin Clark to come back just like Giannis did against the Suns in 2021. Shut up, bro. Shut up.
I also don't want to hear anybody saying the Mercury had it easy in the finals.
They had the hardest path.
But you know the way people will spin a narrative.
Oh,
Well,
I
they
know.
didn't go. Well, they didn't have Caitlin, and they didn't have. But even with that, Kelsey Mitchell's probably been the second or third best player in the playoffs entirely.
Yeah.
This postseason so far. Aaliyah Boston has been ridiculous. Like that's a team that
Number
still
one
has a
overall
lot
pick.
of very good players, even while Caitlin hasn't been around the last couple of months.
I mean, they're here.
So I mean, yes, and they're well coached as well.
I will
Stephanie
say,
White.
for the Caitlin Clark PSA graded 10 rookie card that I got, it would be good for her to come back and do a little something for the value of that. But then lose to the mighty Mercury. I needed somebody else to match my favorite.
Mighty Mercury.
There we go. Hit a like button for that. Check out PHNX Mercury. Check out PHNX Suns. We'll be live all 5 days this week, including pregame, postgame show for Fridays, 7 o'clock tip-off against the Los Angeles Lakers. We will be back. We got some tweaks for the postgame show this year. It is a new era for the Phoenix Suns, a new era for PHNX Suns, and we're going to do it all right here on PHNX Sports. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. The support has been crazy the last couple of weeks of the amount of people subscribing across all of our shows. ASU back in the top 25. Cardinals are still kicking strong. Incredible unit. Bo and Johnny are over there with former Suns producer Noah, even though he misses us. I know he's doing great. Over there, U of A still covering a not so great football team, but leading up to what should be a pretty good basketball season. There's something nice about U of A for you, Sean. Of course, I mentioned the Mercury, the Rising are still kicking in there as well. And then PHNX D-back season just ended, but nobody captured the moment better. Then Derek and Damon. Of course, Tori is still around. I hate to break that to you, Sean. Sorry to build you up and then break you down, but appreciate all of you. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, become a member today, like Melissa and Deborah and Junior and so many other members that we've seen. It is really great to see this community coming together. If you're listening on audio, 5-star reviews go a long way. And just do us a favor. Share this with another Suns fan in your life. You never know who doesn't know about PHNX Suns and who could use a little PHNX Suns in their life. So go ahead, just hit that share button. Let them know, hey, listen, this guy, Steven, he's too damn smart. He's not going to be on the show forever because the Suns are going to hire him to be Jordan Knott's lead assistant next year. So get in while you can and watch PHNX Suns and follow us at PHNX_Suns. It's on Twitter and on Instagram as well. Shout out Fisherton, a.k.a. Juice Man, a.k.a. Aryton, a.k.a. Freckled Mamba. At Freckled Mamba is where you can find him on social. You follow Steven at Steven PG3. That's Steven with a PH because he bounces us out and he brings you the best coverage of the Phoenix Suns on all of our socials. You can follow me at ERIKRUBY. And until tomorrow, once again, shout out to Wickenburg.
We all silly like the mayor.